We've travelled through Waterdeep and up up a large section of the Sword Coast. We've already covered more than 100 miles. Yet as we round the Mere of Dead Men, famous for the battle that once happened there between orcs and humans, elves and dwarves, when all drowned, and now their bodies remain there, sometimes animating to wander out and threaten the towns of Leland or the castle of Thornhold. As you're walking along the edge of this great swamp, a huge castle flying through the sky, wearing a wizard hat, nothing less, flies over towards your vicinity and almost crash lands into the ground, sinks a little bit into the swamp. An instant moat forms around it of murky, brownish, brackish water, and as if realizing that such an invitation is not very welcoming, it throws down its drawbridge, opening itself up to you. This castle is about 300 feet away.
I guess we sort of just sit there dumbfounded.
How big is the door? Like, could it be for like a giant, or is it like obviously like medium creature size?
Yeah, for a large giant, two giants could walk abreast through this great drawbridge.
Oh, abreast.
What the fuck? That's literally what my character says.
You have rejoined us?
Yes.
Stop the carriage. Hello?
Welcome back. Try not to wander off next time.
Is there gonna be like a scantily clad leg poking out from the side of the doorway?
From the castle,
Like
the castle's scantily clad leg. That castle's got two feminine legs and a hat.
Stands up, yeah. Fishnets on.
Yeah.
What happened, boys?
Why don't you come inside me?
Oh god!
Too far.
I've lowered the bridge.
Jeez, the way's open. Oh.
Oh, do I have any preparatory spells to cast? Unless we want to sit here for a minute.
Well, I mean, like 10 minutes past casting time.
I'd say Jiraxis, I'd kind of be curious more so than anything and walk towards the tower.
I'll also, Wild will go with him.
Okay. I'll pull up.
Looking up, but with shield like raised in front of me.
Same with Roz.
I'll just sit on the carriage.
Beautiful. And so you walk across this drawbridge, and it sinks into the mud a little bit. You get a whiff of the stench of the brackish water and the long rotting dead. And then you find yourself inside a richly decorated foyer. There is a staircase that leads up, and several tables and chairs. A small platter, or rather large platter, I suppose, is laid out with glasses and plates and knives and forks that are much too big for your own hands, on chairs that will make you look like small children up against a towering table some 10 feet tall. And in this great domed vicinity, once the last of you comes within, the drawbridge begins to raise.
Oh shit.
I think we are being observed.
I bring the carriage in.
Excellent.
It's got a guff on it. Alright.
Does there look to be any any way up? Like, is it just stairs up, spiral stairs upwards?
Yeah, that's exactly right. A spiral staircase, and each step is like 3 feet tall. So
So taller
almost
than me.
requires. Yeah, you will literally have to climb up with each step, reaching up and dragging yourself.
Excuse us. Hello? Anyone here?
Your voice echoes through the chamber and up into the upper reaches above.
Echo.
You don't want any trouble.
Unless we make some.
Nothing. Does it look to be like recently like used this foyer, or like does there look to be any sign of like?
The food is fresh; it's still steaming. The ice is unmelted, and the dishes that have been cooked are still hot. I guess that's the sign of habitation.
Yeah.
Can
that's-
Wild
I-
climb?
Is it just set for one?
No, it's set for several, as many as a dozen. Although, they're tremendously large plates and goblets.
Can Wild try to climb the table?
Beautiful. You get onto the table easily enough, and there are wines and porks and ducks, and many of them are the giant versions. So a giant swan and a huge dire boar. It's phenomenally large food with grapes as big as oranges and pumpkins as large as small carriages.
It's the Cats movie. We've got a cat standing on a table.
Gosh.
God, now we need a full team of Tabaxi Bar.
I'm gonna. Oh God. Can I have a quick look around to see if there's any like not rat holes, but like just small entrances and exits on the floor anywhere? Like, does it seem like it is home to any rodents at all?
Yeah, sure. Make an investigation or a survival check.
Well, like a giant were rat comes out, or were mouse.
Common
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah, you have a look around and you find no such evidence. However, you do see great feathers, feathers that have been only used relatively recently, and these feathers are embedded in a huge, giant-sized saddle.
Saddle. Just chilling out on the,
Yeah.
on the ground floor.
Yeah, that's right. Just lying off to one side with some other, dare I say, junk like tables and cabinets and dishware and hat stands. Resting up against the hat stand, there's a saddle. The saddle's got some feathers that are as long as your arm.
All right. Can I like hook the carriage up to the hat stand so I don't have to mind it? I guess.
Beautiful. The whole building begins to lurch. You think it's moving.
Oh well.
Oh God. Oh shit. Is there any
I guess
windows
that-
on this floor?
Yeah, there are some windows. The windows would be big enough for you to jump out of quite easily, but too small for a giant to move through.
Are they high up though?
Could
They are pretty
Okay.
high up. They're about
Could
10,
we, like-
maybe 12 feet up.
could just walk under the door frame.
I mean, we
Like
might.
cats. We're not that tiny.
Not
Um,
quite.
you might be actually.
All
Just jump off
hey,
Featherfall. I'm
look.
good, mate.
See you later. I guess no way to get that up.
Hey, Lox, could you? Is it possible if Lox boosts me up to the windowsill at all, or too high?
Oh no, it's only 10 or 12 feet. Someone would be able to boost you, yeah.
I'd try and get Lox to boost me up to the window on the base floor if we can. Oh, so not Roz.
You mean Roz? I'm like Lox. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because you think he
isn't
locks
it?
it on, aren't you?
Roz.
Just short.
Yeah, locks it on.
I got on.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's a simple enough action, and you see that the ground is beginning to move away. It's only about 12 feet away at the moment, but 15, 18, where we're going up.
Oh. Well, hope Thwip is fine without us.
If you jump, I can slower descent.
But we've already got our carriage on.
You could all make a jump for it, but as you say, the carriage would have to be left behind. It won't fit through the window. But you'd better decide now because it's currently at 25 feet and rising.
Well,
I mean,
if we haven't been
We
squashed
can't
yet.
really jump with a carriage. Have we just been
Okay.
kidnapped?
Ringing.
Well,
Man, we're easy.
there's no hostile intention so far. There's no traps or anything.
If we intend to stay,
Let's go.
should I send
wanna-
Pebble out to find the inhabitants?
Might as well while we start trying to climb the stairs?
Yeah, I'll point Pebble up the stairs to just go fly up there. Come back if you see anyone or anything.
Pebble flies back and comes back in your face shortly after you begin ascending the stairs. There's someone up there. Pebble indicates.
There's someone up the stairs.
Does Pebble do charades?
It's mental
Yeah.
work. He just tells me.
That's it.
There's no memes here.
Damn. I want a bat that does charades.
Fucking hilarious.
Let's climb these stairs.
All right. At the top of the stairs, you find an ornate little dwelling that might best be described as a kind of wizard's hovel. The ceiling here is 80 feet high, and there are tall, slender windows set into each of the walls with stained glass, and the light catches them, and as we move, it dances across the floor. A series of images of the glory of giants, many in battle against dragons, but performing other things as well, teaching the dwarves how to mine and how to forge, and founding great empires, the likes of which buildings that would whose grandeur would never be seen again, such as this one. And there's also other furnishings here: a giant-sized bed, an enormous wooden chest which is sealed with glowing runes, blue and white and yellow. Stone shelves, and each of these shelves is 20 feet high and has books about as large as a human. Big 500-pound books. And in the middle of the room, floating above the floor, levitating, is a crystal ball and a massive wizard, maybe some 24 feet tall if he were to not be sitting down cross-legged, just levitating about 8 feet above ground level. A great and old giant, perhaps a cloud giant, with a wispy white beard and ornate robes whose colours matched that of the hat on the tower. And you see, as he looks into his crystal ball, images of yourselves walking through thick, blasting snow.
Hello?
He looks at you one by one, and he looks back at the crystal ball, and looks at you back at the crystal ball, and you see the scene change as you march through swamps and even into the desert, where you discover some grand old crumbling city from a civilization that is difficult to discern. And he looks at each of you and looks at his crystal ball, and he becomes satisfied. Well, it must be you. It's quite clearly you. Yes. Welcome. Oh, welcome. I'm glad that I finally found you. I've been looking high and low, and well, here you are after all this time. Oh, welcome.
Is it?
You saying he sounds like a gnome?
Yeah.
Looking for us?
Yes. It has been foreseen that you shall be crucial in the restoration of the Ordning. So I have predicted. I think. He looks back at the crystal and back at you. It all seems to make sense. From this angle, you look awfully incompetent, but well, it must be so. So tell me, how do you intend to restore the Ordning?
What's the ordning? Real quick.
We were told.
What's the Ordning?
The Ordning is social. It's which giants are important and which are not.
Yes, that's right. I knew you must be the right ones.
Cloud
You
giants
told
are
me I was
second,
a
are they not?
fool. For now, but perhaps with the restoration of the Ordning, they will be first. After all, what have the Storm Giants done lately? They sit out in their distant, remote hovels, really doing nothing, accomplishing nothing. Why, it's my kind that are responsible for all the innovations and discoveries.
Sure. You mean to tell us that we're to restore it?
Yes. He looks back at the crystal. That's what it flicks through a couple of books. That's what it seems. That is what it seems to say.
Would that prevent the giants attacking the south?
Well, or what? Well, in a roundabout way, yes. Once the problem with the ordning is solved, there'll be no more need to, well, impress the All-Father. You see, our God, the Animal All-Father, is quite disappointed in us. And it's your fault, to some degree. Not yours personally. You're kind. You see, we have a long-standing disagreement with the dragons, longer than some of the races have been on this world. But we were offered the chance to solve this problem recently. Tiamat herself, the evil goddess of dragons, attempted to manifest here in this very world of Faerun, Toro, at this very time, only a handful of years ago. The Cult of the Dragon, they were called, and they assembled to summon Tiamat into this world. But a group of individuals from one of your local backwater towns, Fandalen or some such, they thwarted these plans nary a few years ago, and, well, the All-Father took it personally. He felt that it was the giant's duty to thwart Tiamat, and your people got there first. He was cranky at this, quite cranky, and thus he dissolved the ordning. Decided that if giants weren't proactive enough to get things done, then he'd reset the clock, roll the dice all anew, and he threw us all out into the world to prove that we're still important.
Right. So how are we supposed to fix all this?
You mean you don't have a plan?
Who holds the ordning together apart from Anum?
Oh, the gods only, animal. You see, I guess this is your fault as well. Hecaton, the king of the storm giants, you killed his wife. I don't know why, but you people, small folk, the humans, you lured her to a remote island and killed her. Trusted you. She liked you, and yet you betrayed her. Well, it's really no wonder that even the storm giants have decided to get a bit angry.
I don't know about giants, but us small folk do not act as a hive mind.
Oh, well, you did this time. It was, how do you say, an alliance?
An alliance to kill a storm giant?
Yes, that's who ordered it. An alliance of lords. I think I'm translating it correctly.
You're talking
Lord's
about the
Alliance?
alliance.
Yes, that's it. The Lord's Alliance ordered this murder.
That still does not include everyone.
They're your lords.
You're not lords of everyone.
Well, I am emboldened to hear you say that, because it must be that the prophecy has chosen you for your rebellious nature.
Maybe. Oh, do you have any weapons? Wait. Why are you here anyway?
Oh, I saw you. I was flying over the Mere of Dead Men, and I saw you, and I thought, hang on, I think I know those people, and so I thought I'd offer you a lift. Where are you going?
Brynchander?
Oh, well, I'd love to see the spine of the world again. I used to date a lovely young lass up there. Why don't we go and see if she's still interested in me?
Why wouldn't you be? Look at you.
He's flattered, and yeah, taken to you immediately.
Wow. Easily
What a guy.
appeased. So where have all the storm giants gone? We haven't seen them raise up a ruckus.
Oh, I'm not entirely sure. I'm a little bit, well, independent. I don't have a lot of, well, contact with other giants. My reputation a little. They don't all like small folk, you do, but I do. I find you fascinating. Your curiosity, your need to engage in actions, your ability to build and destroy civilizations in the blink of an eye. It's all very curious to me.
Thanks. I'll just whisper. How long to someone else? How long does the giants live?
Let's find out. Excuse me, sir. If I don't mind, if I'm not being too rude, can I ask how old you are?
Oh, no, 740 something?
Then you must know about the great catastrophe. The fuck, I forgot my own backstory.
Da-da-da.
You must have known about the spell plague then, yes?
I lived through the spell plague and the time of troubles and many other things.
I'll start kind of running up towards him. Yes, then you must know about the fires, the blue fires, yes?
Yes, all too much.
Great. I seem to have been affected when me and my family.
Affected? You're not contagious, are you?
No, not in the slightest.
Affected, not infected.
We
Oh.
affected, not infected.
Thankfully.
Me and my family, we were the ones who transported the blue fire into a different dimension. But in doing so, it seems that I've been transported to this time, as well as my magic's been affected.
A
Do you know
time
much about?
traveler.
Yes, sadly, it is quite problematic. Would you be able to help me with my problems with magic in any way?
Of course. Would you be willing to submit to a few experimental tests?
You're a time traveler.
Yes. I'm afraid I'm not really part of this time. See, from what I can tell from the library, I'm from 10 years in the past.
Not very impressive. Okay.
Not really. Didn't get much choice, did I? As you said, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but that time we went invisible when we were finding the goblins, and as well as a few other times inside the cave, my magic seems to have a mind of its own and does what it wants. I can't control it.
Sounds a bit dangerous.
Fascinating.
Yes. But I don't think experimenting on me is the right way to do it.
Oh,
As you said, you need me to correct the awning, yes?
I suppose.
Maybe Prophet's touting isn't all just words.
I look like, as he says that, I'm like, oh fuck me, I'm not, no more. I'm like, it can't be true.
But it is.
Khan wants out. Well, you just came to pick us up. Do you have any information on this
Oh,
ordning?
well, what would you like to know?
Well, I know a bit about the ordning, but how are we to know how to fix it if a god solved it?
Well, I suppose, I don't really know. Maybe if you got revenge, if you got to the bottom of this murder, perhaps the Storm King would be happy and that had settled him down. But
if the achievements of small folk made him destroy it, how would our achievements make him happy?
well, I guess that is a conundrum. Maybe you're not meant to stop the ordning at all. Maybe you're just meant to save your own people in the process. I must apologize for my kid. The hill giants want nothing but to eat everything in sight. The frost giants and fire giants are obsessed with war. And well, as for my own kin, it pains me to say that while many are very nice folk, just as many are cruel and malicious. Have you run into any of my kind?
We saw some above Waterdeep.
Oh, nice folk were they?
We didn't meet them.
I guess they didn't drop rocks on us, so it's
Well,
not too bad.
I guess that's polite. I would hate to have heard that any of my kind had been so malicious and cruel.
Well,
Remember, they tried to destroy Nightstone for the Nightstone.
yeah. Oh,
That's-
yes.
Oh no.
Do you know anything about Nightstones?
Oh, something. I feel so guilty. Oh,
It's
I.
a obsidian megalith with some strange glyphs carved into it.
Yes, it would make quite a garden. I know.
Sounds a bit much for a attack from cloud giants.
Well, we're each trying to impress the animal father in our own way, you see. The ordning is much like a caste system. It not only determines our rank, but what we should do. The hill giants are only playing to their nature when they maraud and devour. They are, after all, little more than beasts. But the rest of us, we have our important roles to play in society. It is the frost giants who are the warriors, the fire giants who forge the weapons for them and make sure that there is endless fuel for the mines and the bellows. My own people are great artists who sages, magicians, perfectionists, and it is our responsibility to show the world exactly what we can be, what we can do. We are, after all, the greatest of nature's creation, and the storm giants have their role as well as sages and scholars and dare I say arbiters, judges. Their wisdom is at least as much as ours. So you see, each of the giants have their role. It is, I think, up to us to show the All-Father that we are still worthy of.
Would anything?
So
we
you're
heard
saying
from
giants need the comfort of a god to prevent them killing everyone?
I suppose so. Don't your people seek the approval of their fathers? Wouldn't they do anything to make him happy?
Not in kobold culture. Everything for the tribe.
Well,
Yes, yeah, and
I
I did read the social structure of kobolds. It's a little interesting.
I wish I understood how you fit into this, but I can't see it. All I know is that you do. All of my auguries, all of my divinations, all of my research has pointed to one thing: that it shall be you who helps us solve what we could not do ourselves.
okay.
But surely there'd be a big reward for this, right?
Oh, I imagine so. A great punishment as well. For if this Lord's Alliance has truly been responsible for the murder of the Queen of the Storm Giants, then there must be a reckoning. Perhaps it is you who will bring it.
Where was she killed?
In the islands, somewhere, offshore.
Uh,
Lured there by humans.
Well,
So I heard.
okay. I guess if we ever come across some Lords Alliance, we'll ask them.
Oh, very
Yeah.
good.
Politely
Who wants
ask
a
them.
ride?
Who wants a ride? Well,
yes.
you've already taken us off the ground.
Oh no, I mean above the ground. I've got some saddles that are your size.
Yeah, I'm down. I
What?
don't know.
Oh, well, let's go and meet them, shall we? And
Meet who?
he takes you up to the third floor, the Eyrie, and there he has a collection of 8 griffins. And these griffins they regard you either coolly, kind of ignoring you like cats, or hostilely, the way an eagle
Ooh.
might stare at a rival. Um, they're quite tame, I assure you. But they open their mouths and their beaks and their claws and flex their wings, and they're huge creatures. I mean, big creatures.
I throw one an apple.
It snatches it out of the air and it just bites it in half with a single crunch.
Wild is going to try to find the one that eyes him down. That's going to be the one he rides.
Alright. You intimidate each other and keep locking eye contact until you crawl on, and it makes it difficult for you, but it lets you mount it in the end.
Hell yeah.
Where will we be going?
Oh, I don't know. Just strap yourself in. If you fall off, you'll die.
Okay.
You're currently about 200 feet above the Mere of Dead Men.
Wait,
Alright.
what about our wagon?
No, I hope you brought it along.
It's
It's in the castle.
downstairs.
Oh, that's good. It can come with us.
Okay.
Okay.
So he kind of like teaches you how to ride the griffins, but he's not going anywhere. He's just like letting you kind of play around and scout the guy, just kind of getting used to it, as it were. And yeah, so there you are, flying through the sky, riding griffins. Everyone make an who's trying it. Everyone make an animal handling roll.
Roz is just like giving his apples up to try and get a up on the griffin too.
I'll use my guidance.
It seems to
Oh, what the
seems
hell?
to appreciate the gifts. It takes to you, and unlike with Wild Gold where it was bucking, this griffin lowers its wing and lets you mount it. You're pretty heavy, and it strains under the weight.
I see 2 numbers that are not like the others.
So one of these things are not like the other.
All right. Unfortunately, Roz is too heavy for this, and he begins to slip. His one of the straps on the saddle breaks, and he risks as he's flying some 200 feet over the swamp with zombies marching down below. He begins to lose his grip. Prophet, the gust of wind is so strong that your little 30-pound frame is threatening to blow off just from the velocity. Both of you need to make dexterity saving throws.
Oof.
I might use my inspiration on that one.
All right. Aha.
That's the best I got.
That's
But
as
my-
much as you need.
Yeah, that would have been a 14, but with my dexterity as well.
Excellent work. So the pair of you nearly slip off, but you grab on and hang on for dear life. And while the rest of them begin to master the basics of griffin riding, all the best you can do is survive. Duck, roll a
Yeehaw.
D100.
Oh, hell yeah. 82.
Okie dokie dokie. So, as you're flying through the air, yeah, your castle traveling at about 20 miles an hour, about a bit over 30 k's an hour, and the Griffin's circling around, keeping up, orbiting it like fighter ships around a Death Star or a destroyer. You see that there are a group of warriors traveling through the hills below. This is swampy country, and skirting around the edge of the swamp, having landed on the edge of the bank with their ships, with their long ships. A group of maybe 15 or so human warriors. They look like barbarians, probably Uthgard. Yeah, about a dozen or 15 Uthgard are traveling overland somewhere, heading east, maybe to raid some farms or travelers or something. They have wolves with them.
Is it just me that sees that, or is that everyone?
I think anyone who's flying would see it, and it's easy enough to ignore, given that you're a couple of 100 feet up in the air. They seem to regard you hostilely and throw their spears, but they were never going to hit.
Alright, Weil is going to try to get his griffin to pick up a large rock and fly over and drop it.
All right. Make a dexterity-based attack that you're not proficient with. So D20 plus your dex. Yeah, it's a pretty good hit. You drop your bomb on someone, and they have to raise their shield to prevent it from smashing their skull. You could do this all day.
I just want to try to bond with the griffin, slowly become like buddies from being aggressive together or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, the griffin loves your tactics. It thinks it's it could do this all day. It loves it.
Yeah, I'll just keep doing that then for a while.
Beautiful. You break up the barbarian band. They seek cover, as this is one opponent that they simply cannot defeat.
Can I fly over towards their ship and see if anyone's on their ship?
Yeah, the ship has been pulled ashore and hidden among a bunch of trees and whatnot. There is no one defending it.
I'm gonna land and investigate then.
There's not much to find, but the ship is perfectly intact. It looks like they've taken everything with them, and so yeah, you've got a long that would house about 12 people, maybe more, 12 to 18 people.
How many griffins would it take to lift it?
Maybe just 2. I reckon you could probably get it up there without too much effort.
I'm gonna fly up to Aradel because he's flying around.
All right.
And but you were flying around, weren't you, Saxon?
Yeah,
I think everyone was flying pretty much.
Jiraxis.
Yeah.
I only need
Not
2, so
Relv.
I'll get Aradel. I'll be like, come with me, and then fly down and bring the ship back up and be like, we got a ship.
All right. It's like a canoe. It's like a long hide canoe with a wooden frame. What's it called?
Longship.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. And so yeah, you bring this long ship up, made of wood and hide, and it's got the oars, and then you now have a transport vessel. It takes up a bit of room. There's not an endless amount of space here in this castle, but you add a ship to your collection.
Hell yeah.
Just imagine being those raiders. Just some griffins come down and take your ship.
About this
After
big?
being bombarded with
10
rocks.
people? It's like that
About
big.
15, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right.
These
pretty good.
poor
Hell
fucking
yeah.
people.
What do you mean? They're going to raid fucking farms and shit with wolves. Bad dudes, man. They're bad
It takes
dudes.
wolves on the boats.
True.
Now we have a boat.
But that's what we wanted, the boat, right? Good.
We can sell it. Yeah, we
What?
can do
Give it to the
whatever
old father?
Indeed.
We
Take
could
the
just
sacrifice
we literally get
all, Bubba.
Wild and Roz to carry it when we're on land.
We're just walking around with a boat.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like they just had a bunch of dudes to carry boats back in the day.
Yeah, it's how it's done. Yeah, it's a hassle, but it can be done.
Like Viking boats weren't especially heavy.
Yeah, and this one's even lighter because it's mostly not wooden panels. It's mostly skin.
There you go.
Not as durable though.
Champions.
Like not good for the
What?
open water.
They just do coastal raids.
Yeah, that's right. Just short distance ones, more like the Native American canoes, but but with the Viking
But
longship
shaped like
design.
Vikings.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's cool as hell.
Raskan, D100, please.
Yes. Boop, 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 boop. 69.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay.
This should be a good one.
You travel a little bit further, and having added a ship to your collection, and you spot a family fleeing. They're leaving their homestead. They've got everything that they carry, and they're moving as fast as their animals will let them move. They are transporting a very large wagon, and it's being pulled by 2 draft horses. They are clearly quite rich, and don't have a lot of guards protecting them.
Do they look like they're leaving in a hurry, like something's happened?
It does. You can make an insight check, but that is what it looks like. They are
Is that-
hurried.
Is this our daily
Sure.
movement stuff?
Yeah, you can move it a little bit further along. We're traveling about 20 miles an hour, so it's going pretty fast.
Oh, wait, this is an hour. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically once every hour.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going quite fast at this rate.
I think you meant.
Like,
Do we see the reason that the thing they're fleeing from as well as them fleeing?
Good question. Raskan does not. He can't work out like what they're doing. There seems to be no reason for them to flee at all. And the Prophet, you kind of agree. It looks like it's more preemptive. Perhaps they heard word of something happening. Perhaps they're just moving ahead of the crowd, or whatever the reason. There isn't an imminent threat, and yet they're hooking it. They are not hanging around any longer.
you reckon they're running from us?
It seems
I'm
they're
gonna-
all packed up already. Only one I find
Maybe
out.
they know of the giants.
Jiraxis will fly down.
Is that at
towards them.
Lelon, or have you not moved?
Yeah,
yet?
I also wanted to fly down to them because I think I know what it is.
All right, they are quite scared.
Yeah, we'll go down.
As you dive down with your griffins, and the guards begin firing bows at you, but initially none of them hit. You get to about a 100-foot distance though, and you will effectively be in combat if you go any further.
I'll yell loud enough for them to hear me, hopefully. Wait, we're not gonna hurt you.
Be gone! We wish no business with travelers from the sky.
Are you running because of the Uthgard?
We are running from giants. We have heard giants are destroying everything.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Alright, I thought it might have been the Uthgard. I'm just gonna fly off then.
Yeah, they can't do anything to help them.
All right.
When like nothing's happening, can I like what's the word? Compare notes with what's his name?
Zephyros?
Zephyros. Like,
Yeah.
because we got talked about because this guy in the tavern told us about the ordning, and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. I'd like to just like compare notes, like find out what's real, what's not.
definitely. So any questions you've got on there, he's happy to answer.
All right. So yeah, I just like try and I ask him if like the giant empire Astoria was real and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was. They had 1,000-year war, the giants and the dragons. And he says they were so evenly matched, they exhausted each other. And in the end, I think it was Adam Allfather and like Bahamut or someone. In any case, a god from either side, probably Bahamut and Adam, sat down and played a game of chess. And the game of chess ended in a stalemate. And at the end, they're like, well, fuck it. You know, like, we can't even beat each other at chess. How are we supposed to beat each other in a 1,000-year war? Let's just call an end to it. And they did. Although that account is disputed. Other people say that the giants won or the dragons won. But Zephyros at least believes that it came down to a game of chess that ended with a stalemate.
All right. Does he know where Astoria is? Does Zephyros know? Well,
Yeah.
where it was?
It was in the north, yeah. It went as far south as Waterdeep in that sort of region, Daggerford. But in truth, particularly towards the end, as it got driven further and further north, the last remnants were the spine of the world. And to some degree, while Astoria is long since gone, they are kind of successor states up in the spine of the world. Like, giants live a long time, and they're still using the same culture that they used back then. The Ordning hasn't really changed. And so there are still storm giants and frost giants and cloud giants all living in the spine of the world, while fire giants and stone giants live underneath it. The hill giants have dispersed, but they're not really a civilization anyway.
They're like glorified ogres.
Yeah, giant goblins.
The goblins of giant kind.
It's
The gnomes. All right, cool.
yeah, but if you think of any other questions retrospectively, he's happy to.
Yeah.
He's able to answer.
Cool, yeah. I don't want to just tie this up with questions though, so I'll let everyone.
Yeah, I will say something which may probably not relevant. I'll mention it anyway. The storm giant, his wife, he loved her very much, and they had 3 daughters. Now that his wife is dead, the Storm King wants only revenge. He cares nothing for rule, or he doesn't even really care much about the Ordning. He kind of feels like a failure on so many levels. All he wants is revenge. All he wants is the destruction of human civilization. Because if the lords of people would befriend his wife and then betray her, then, fuck you and all of your people, quite frankly. He loved her more than anything else, and the destruction of your civilization is a fitting punishment for your treachery. But that's left his 3 daughters in power. As he withdraws from the world, he just basically gave the kingdom over to his eldest daughter. The Storm Giant court is in upheaval as a result.
So wait, so he's hell bent on revenge and killing pretty much everyone off a misconception on how the small people politics works.
Yeah,
I think he
yeah,
lost
more or
faith
less.
in the small folk,
Yeah,
Because
right?
yeah.
I'm not sure how
It's,
big the Lord's Alliance is, but on this map, how much land would they rule? The Lord's Alliance?
Luskan, Mirabar, well not Luskan, Silvery Moon, Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate as well.
Baldur's Gate.
Oh, so it's just like a collection of some of the cities, not even proper swathes of land.
Like the greatest cities.
Yeah, that's right. It's an alliance of all the states that matter in the north, more or less. Yeah.
Silvery Moon's like run by Lady Austriel.
It was. I think she.
Austral or some shit.
I think she perished in the spell plague, but nonetheless, her
Maybe.
legacy is still important.
Yeah, she founded it.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's the sister of the current ruler of Waterdeep. One of the 7 sisters. So it's a big, but the Lord's Alliance is not even a government. It's more like a shadow government. It's kind of like an Illuminati, a series of very, very important power brokers who want to create greater ties between the North, but not everyone wants that. Plenty of people are quite happy being independent powers and are not at all looking forward to the idea of Waterdeep making all of their decisions.
Cool, yeah.
And on top of all of this, he has no evidence that it was the Lord's Alliance. It's At least
Speculation.
your friend has no evidence. Whether the Storm Giant King does on, can only guess.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Digital. Give us a D100.
And another 20
Okay.
miles as well.
Yeah, another 20 miles.
Sorry.
Short 20 miles.
Slash.
Pass over the town of Leyland.
There we go. 63. We haven't had a low one yet.
We have not.
It shows we got a 69. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we did, and didn't even go down and use it on her. But anyway, never mind. All right. So, down on the road below, you spot two travelers. No, three travelers. One of them is dressed in heavy armor and a big warhammer that's encrusted with runes of lightning bolts. Another one is a centaur, and that centaur has lance and bow and a big sword. And finally, there is a blue-robed sorceress who is walking alongside you with the long robes and the staff, carrying a small crystal ball in her left hand. They look like an adventuring party. They are headed north in the same direction as you, though nowhere near as fast, suckers.
How high off the ground are we?
It's up to you. The giant's ready to take you where you want. By default, about 200 feet up, but he takes you higher or lower because he wants to show you what his castle can do. Look at this! It goes in circles. Woo!
Does he do like a big
It does a
loop at one
flip.
point?
He's tempted to. He tried that and it was disastrous. But he'll try it again if you want.
No.
He forgot to glue his furniture down.
That's exactly right. And
He
the
forgot the
group of
reverse
eight-
gravity spell at the same time.
Yeah, should have. Good idea. Let's do that. Sounds like an experiment.
When he does a flip with the castle, the hat falls off, but an arm comes out of the castle just hold it back on.
That's it.
Yeehaw!
Yeah.
Next time you run this, he's gonna be a cowboy. Big cowboy hat on top of it.
Hell yeah.
Howdy, partners. Welcome to my castle.
Welcome to castle. Let's go for a ride. These
Hats.
exactly. The adventures are absolutely fascinating by the approach of this castle. They were a little worried as well. They shelter, but what shelter can there be from giants throwing rocks from a
Can we
castle
sit
in
on
the
the
sky?
windowsill and wave at them?
They point at you and talk to each other. They're amazed.
Hail!
I'm gonna do some tricks on a griffin in the sky on my
Wow.
griffin.
The leader, the one with the thunder hammer, cheers you and cheers you on, but the centaur doesn't seem to care at all.
Centaur's interested in staying on the ground.
Yeah. Can't ride. Don't want to ride a griffin anyway.
Can't ride a griffin.
I want to see that.
A centaur
Just
riding a
horse laying
griffin?
down on top of a griffin.
That
Yeah,
could be my
Yeah.
next mission.
Well, centaurs are medium creatures, right? They can ride large creatures.
According to the rules, they
Okay.
can.
I'm gonna put that in the stream
Interesting.
request, Saxon.
A centaur riding another horse or a griffin?
Centaur riding a griffin.
That's awesome, actually. That's comedy right there.
It might be something. I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, that
Oh,
might be.
God.
I've posted it in the our art dealer's Discord. He has stream requests, and every time
Nice.
he gets around to it, he looks through it and does whatever he wants. So I've just kind of plopped it in there.
You might get a laugh out of that. Yeah.
Hope so. I'm getting a laugh out of it.
The adventuring party seems to be summoning you down here. You know, come over here.
Alright, I'll go down.
Bring us closer.
I'll follow with Wild. Carefully.
Yeah, I'll,
The
I'll come now.
I guess we're all
Centaur and
going
the
down.
sorcerer think that
No
he's
more
a
rolls.
excellent. Each of you jump on a griffin or team up.
I'll just watch from the windowsill.
No worries. The centaur and the blue robed sorcerer seem to think it's a terrible idea. Too late now. You're already on your way. The priest, that's who the leader is, introduces himself as Kalgar. He's a storm priest of Valkur, the god of stormy seas and heavy drinking and being loyal to your friends.
They
He's a
want
very
boat?
bold and sorry. Does he want a boat? He'd
Do
love
they
a
want
boat. He'd love a boat. He'd absolutely love a boat. Yeah, they would use it to travel upriver once they get to Neverwinter. Is it a boat small enough for a river? They ask.
Well, yeah,
I-
longboats are pretty
yeah,
small.
pretty good boat.
They're like.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You
Would
can
it be
ride
more accurate to
longboats
call it a
forever.
boat or a ship?
It's a long boat, so I think
It's a long boat.
it's a long
Well,
boat. Long ship.
The boat's worth. It's worth quite a bit.
Long boat ship.
That's it. All right. They don't have much on the way of sort of beginning their adventure rather than completing it. They want. I ask if you know anything about Anarok or the area around Anarok,
Do
The-
I
the-
know anything?
the Great Desert to the east.
Yeah, would I know
Hmm.
anything?
Have-
'Cause I had to
we
come
know the
from
special
very
egg
far
is
away,
there. I mean, the other
and
group
I
does
had to-
anyway.
The special egg. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically,
that
they
for?
want to know about Ascor, the Nethery city that sits on the edge of the northern edge of Anarok.
Oh shit. Our kobolds
That's
kind of
that's close to
about
the Arn Forest.
Yes, that's the one,
Yeah.
they say. What do you know about it? We will offer you. We have 10 gold pieces for any information on Ascor.
Would my
If you can give
character
us something specific to Ascor.
remember anything?
I imagine so. Make a history check with advantage.
Double 16.
Hell
I
yeah.
guess the key things to know about Ascor are the following. Ascor was one of the Netherese civilizations that was on the ground. The Netherese invented flying cities. They used to chop mountains off, turn them upside down, and have cities on them. And each wizard archmage would fly a different city, trying to impress the others with how awesome their flying city was. Ascor wasn't one of the flying cities. Ascor was firmly on the ground, a successor state, and it was kind of all the ones on the ground were like the bumpkin areas, the provincial parts of the Netherese Empire. Anywhere was flying. Anything on the ground like Ascor was just fucking an afterthought. But when Karsus cast a spell which sapped all magic from the world briefly, all the magical cities fell out of the sky. Meow, smash, destroyed. And thus Ascor survived because it wasn't in the sky to begin with. It eventually was abandoned hundreds of years later because Anarok, the Great Desert, expanded and slowly ate it up. Desertification, although the plants and the farmland just slowly turned to sand, and over a course of hundreds of years, Ascor had to be abandoned. Since then, it has been the province of an extremely powerful blue dragon called Eimrith. And Eimrith is notorious for being able to control statues. She's very powerful magically, and of all the magic that she's mastered, she's specialized in nothing so much as the creation of stone golems. In particular, she has legions of gargoyles, flying stone demons that serve her every whim, sending her will throughout Faerun and even beyond.
I tell them to be careful up there. If I come from there and I've heard all about her.
So I take it all of this information would still be relevant, like even though it's 100 years out of date.
Absolutely. That great worm, she's still, she ain't died
Kicking
yet.
around.
Yeah. One of the North has a number of ancient worms, and she is one of them.
She was blue, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
I'm just trying to sweet talk the sorceress.
All right, make a persuasion roll. but she likes you. How do you seal the deal?
I don't think I'd be. I don't think I'd steal. I don't think I'd seal the deal. I think I'd more play with her for a bit, get herself talking about herself, and then kind of just leave them wanting.
Mm.
Drop it. Yeah.
She hates
You're-
you.
you're
She got a
heartache.
real stormy personality.
Cast Disintegrate on you.
Cast Disintegrate. That's it.
Nope.
She'd, you'd won her over, and then when you don't deliver her, she gets all catty about it. It's yeah, she doesn't like you at all. Her name is Kalansi Blue Robes. She specializes in thunder magic, like shocking hands, thunder wave, that sort of stuff. And she doesn't like you at all. She hates you because she won't admit to herself that she loves you.
So if I am not interrupting, why are you going to Ascot?
They tell you that that they are heading to Ascor to find a wizard called the Sapphire Queen, and this Sapphire Queen has been responsible for a great number of atrocities across the realms, and they want to see an end to it.
Is that not the dragon?
The Sapphire Queen. Is that not? Is it Limerith?
Oh, do you think it might be?
Yeah.
They ask.
Sapphires can be red or blue, right?
Well, one of our friends, Roll, was my brother, says the priest. He was my lover, says the sorceress, and my mentor, says the centaur. My brother Roll was killed by demons made of stone that flew from the sky. They were sent by this this Sapphire Queen of Ascor, and we shall have our revenge on her.
If you
We shall
value
dethrone
lives, you
her.
would go home.
Do you think we should? Is there... Maybe we're in over our heads.
You seek to kill an
Hell
ancient
no,
dragon.
You gotta get revenge, man.
Wait, they're lightning based and they're gonna go fight a blue dragon?
I didn't know it was a blue dragon. I thought she was a wizard.
If it's controlling the statues, if it was killed by gargoyles,
I definitely think you guys should not be trying to kill this dragon. At least not at your current power. Maybe get a bigger party, and even train some more before you go take this on.
You
Live
convinced-
today, fight tomorrow.
Yes, you convinced them collectively, in spite of Gold's attempts to spur them on. The Brace of Thunder have decided that perhaps the Sapphire Queen of Ascor is, yeah, it was a long journey anyway. Maybe we should do something else.
Guess they've Phandalin.
They give you 50 gold pieces nonetheless, being true to their word. After all, you may well have saved their lives, so it's so they give the money to the prophet.
Can we drop a boat
Okay.
on them?
Yeah, sure.
No, not on them, but drop them a boat.
I guess as a sort of parting word, remember the giants are coming. Your strength is needed here anyway.
Our strength is needed here. I agree, and but the sorceress gives a final glare at her enemy before they.
I'll look at Kalasi just before we fly away. As just say, gotta go save the world. I'll divine you later. I'll just leave. Give her a wink and
Ooh!
leave. Oh,
I hate that man. She bristles with lightning.
She slimes with lightning.
Slime. all
Jesus,
over.
Jesus
oh
Christ.
my god. Fucking god.
Jesus Christ, Dax.
Don't bring that into this game as well, please.
It's a good verb.
Haradale, give us a D100, please.
And
Hey,
the prophet would give 8 gold to everyone in the party, or everyone here,
Oh,
and
Oh.
that's because 50 divided by 8. Well, 50 divided by 6 is 8.3. So the extra gold will go to the profit. I mean, the champion.
Now I have
Indeed.
8 gold and 10 copper.
You're
So
getting-
what's that? 11? No, 9. 11.
So everyone here gets 8 gold, and Raskan gets 9.
9, yeah, sorry.
So move another 20 miles. Hell yeah.
Not 20 miles, heading north.
Just trying to get the
Alright.
cheated a little bit. That's 20.2 miles.
I
but
was
didn't get
quite
it.
tempted just to give the entire sum to Raskan.
What does he need it for, huh, Punk?
He needs to.
Who can speak the giant language?
Me.
I
Me.
can.
Like a lot of us.
Sure.
As you
Decent.
travel,
No, I can't.
as you travel overland at a distance of about 60 or 80 feet above, continuing more or less up the coast, road, not so far away from Neverwinter anymore. You hear a distant wailing in the giant tongue, and our captain slows the flying ship down and puts out an ear. Hark! I hear a melody, and it's not really a melody at all, but rather a wail, a wailing of some huge-lunged woman without any idea for tune or harmony. Yeah, yodeling. That's right, but it's a sad yodeling. It's poetry. Would you like to know what it says?
Yes, please.
Sure.
All right.
A yodeling sad giant.
A yodeling sad giant that breaks your heart. Lena sad. Why Borog left me? Lena love Borog. Why he not love me? Me want you back now. Me heart is cry. Me love you, Borog. Me heart is die.
Is that a
That's a
Wild
hill
sheds
giant,
a
I guess.
tear.
hill giant?
Wild sheds a tear. A single tear.
As
Hides
Draxus
it
can't
from the
speak
rest.
giant. As Draxus can't speak giant, he's like, oh, what the fuck is a disgusting sound?
How dare you? That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Lena's sad. We should get back at Borog if we find him.
Definitely.
I'm gonna
You
copy
can-
paste that.
But who's Borog?
Borog.
Borog was Lena's love. And he
Who the
left
fuck is
her.
Lena?
You just don't understand.
You see a distant glow because it's coming into nightfall now. And you see a distant glow where there is a bonfire burning in a cave halfway up a craggy hill. It's from there that the booming poetry is emanating.
I can't write yodeling. I don't know how it's spelled.
YODELLING.
For some reason, I thought it was gonna be like YOE. I don't know. I just thought it was like a weird. Yeah. That's much more simple than I thought it was.
Yodeling.
Can we spy her from our position?
You can see the shadows that she's casting in her shallow cave as she paints the walls with something inside this cave.
Terrifying.
Oh no, he killed him.
Borog's blood.
Can we tell what type of giant it is?
Make a history check, yeah, or nature.
Probably a hill.
Yeah, its poor command of its own language indicates it's likely a hill giant.
Or an ogre. Ogres speak giant, don't they?
Could be an ogre, although it does. You can see glimpses of how large she is, and she's a hefty ogre if that's what she is. Probably a hill giant.
Maybe that's why Borog left her.
Maybe. Yeah, that's
Wow.
it.
Too hefty of an
Yeah,
ogre.
that's it, yeah. I
Yes.
like big butts, but
I can lie.
love big butt, but Borog think you too big.
Remember, Zephyros said hill giants think nothing but for their hunger. I do not recommend approaching.
But
What if we can? What if we can? No. What if we can help him? Help her out.
Why would you help a giant? Or a hill giant?
mean-
Sorry, Zephyros.
Jesus.
You should ignore them. Die from their own lament.
We need to. I think, despite what we need, I think we need to find out what her intentions are this far south.
If it's a hill giant, they're not that uncommon. Because hill giants are kind of just like everywhere, right? More or less.
Yeah, and but they usually have the good sense to stick to remote areas because they do get beaten back. They're quite cowardly, and in spite of their size, they're quite easy to deter with a few well-placed arrows or
Like
a few
fire.
large barking dogs. Yeah, fire. You know, they're much like animals
elephants.
are with humans. Yeah, like elephants is a good example. They have the capacity for great destruction, but they seem not to always recognise that. And then they lose it, and when they lose it, they're forces of nature. You know, have to put down with extreme violence.
So don't anger a hill giant, scare it.
Yeah, not a bad philosophy, actually. This one seems
mean-
angry enough already.
Yeah. Unless one of you want to convince it from not going crazy, I think we should just ignore it.
Don't want to get anywhere near it.
But money.
If we just keep on the trail, if we keep on the ship, we will be in Bryn Shander not long, and I'm sure we can get money from. What's his name? Fuck.
Markham? Yeah.
Deliver
Mark
his ass.
Zax.
Yeah.
Alright.
Fine, but we stop for the next one.
I mean, is a hill giant worth it when you've already killed a frost giant?
Okay, but if it's anything over a hill giant, like a frost giant or something, maybe not. Probably not.
Well, we handed in that and got cash, right?
Yeah.
I got it on me.
Did we split it? No, we haven't split it yet.
I haven't split it. I just keep it as party gold, basically.
Okay. Put it in the treasure then if we have a treasure. No. I don't think we have treasure.
You
We
want
do
one?
have a
I'll
cart.
make one up now.
Sure. We have
Yeah,
card.
pull up.
Put
Wild
it
wants
in-
to
put
keep
in
it though,
Pebbles
because he
in the
likes
tray.
gold. He wants to keep
Yeah,
it.
you can keep the
You can keep
treasury,
track of
but
it.
it's just a
Okay, that's
it's
fine.
just a
Hold it.
treasury to keep track of it.
Yeah, just a document,
so that everyone
basically.
can see it.
Yeah.
Because I'd forgotten that we even got gold. Because I'm rich with currently 8 gold.
Mm-hmm. Same. It's got 19 now.
Yeah,
I'm sure I
24.
can ask my parents back in the Dale lands if they can give me some money.
How do I do the
Just
treasury?
press edit at the top right.
It better be neat.
I don't
do
know
it
what
like
I
When you
put
Bram.
get
in
the chance, look at,
description.
when you get the chance, look at
Description?
Bramwith.
Do I put it in description?
Yeah.
Wherever you want to do it. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Ugh. Whew, okay, cool.
There we go.
Alright, so we leave Lita behind to her broken heart.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
console
Yeah,
her.
no
She's
one
a
else
giant.
wants the help. My
Alright,
shoulder's
Prophet, give
not
us
big enough for that crime.
True, good point. But you could take her on the rebound. It might be, she might be.
Oh god.
Oh. Maybe, what is his name? Phosphorus is looking for a woman.
No, that's right. Like, he did consider it. Like he that he thought about it, but you're my bros. You gotta stay focused. Bros
Bros
before
Foes.
he doesn't want to say it, but
Birds
Yeah.
before hill giants.
that's it. Brill before hill giant. I don't know. Anyway, Prophet D100.
Another 20 miles.
No, yes,
No?
actually, you're right. Well, he rests for the night, and so during the night, the castle settles down in the ground. But the next morning, we take off again. So, yeah, sorry to be a bit unclear about that.
That's right. I was like, what? We got stopped.
What the? Hang on.
You have been stopped.
Got to make sure we do that in morning and night.
Yeah.
All right.
So I moved
Oh.
us, so we don't move on the next roll because that's the morning roll.
That sounds good. Okay.
And I
alright,
have
beautiful.
refreshed my
Yep.
portent.
Ah, excellent work, excellent work. So you spot traveling along parallel with the road, not actually staying maybe about 60 to 100, 150 feet off it on the eastern side. You quite easily spot from flying above from your vantage point while you're having breakfast, perhaps, or after you've just finished. Maybe you're going stretching the wings of your griffin. In any case, you see a single halfling, and he's scrambling from bush to bush, from tree to tree, carrying great sacks that he can barely contain. He stumbles underneath, and at one stage he trips over. And when he does, all manner of coins and swords and gauntlets fall out. But he quickly scrapes them back up, puts them back in the bag, and starts stumbling around with this sack that's at least as big as he is.
I didn't know any better.
Holy
Looks like he's
shit.
stolen something.
He does look very shady, doesn't he?
Hell yeah.
And we're
I
really far
get
away
over
from like a
it already.
town or anything, right?
Yeah, you're still like 100 miles from Neverwinter, or at least 50 miles anyway.
This guy's just booking it out in the middle of nowhere.
That's either that or he came from, geez, Phandalin maybe?
Or he's robbed a nearby caravan.
Oh.
He looks like he's
what?
equipped for the desert. He has those sort of desert robes that Arabs might wear, wrapped a head towel, which is currently not covering his face, but yeah, he looks like he's well equipped for desert travel.
No, he's carried that bag quite a distance from the desert.
He's been scrambling tree to tree from the desert.
Yeah.
You know, just bush to bush from Anarok.
Short
I don't,
700
know,
miles.
I don't know if there's enough bushes between. Alright, do we want to...
He's now
I'm just
hiding.
giving-
You briefly lose track of where he is, though you know the roundabouts, the copse of trees that he must be in, but he's probably hiding from you.
Do we want to go check him out?
Hell
He's
yeah.
looking
good
very
idea.
shady.
I'm gonna jump on a griffin and go down.
Alright, he tries to escape.
And I suppose if the party's going, I'll put the familiar into like the pocket dimension, so if I land, we can use it. Because it probably wouldn't be safe to like fly with the griffin, like holding onto a bat.
Excellent point.
You could hold onto the bat. Put it in
Yep.
your pocket.
It's probably like half the size of my character. Like some bats are pretty big.
It's got to be minuscule if it's gonna be a I don't know.
Pocket companion.
Your pocket companion. Anyway,
Oh, so it's a teeny tiny bat.
guess we fly down to this halfling.
Alright. So you've got an idea for where he is within a 60-foot area. Now this 60-foot area is pretty thickly covered in forest. There's a few large rocks as well. And he's a halfling, so looks like he's hiding from you. The bag of goodies are here though. He's dropped them, he's abandoned them, and you're pretty sure that he's somewhere within this vicinity, but you don't see him. All you see is whatever he left behind. The bag is currently closed.
I'll land
Yes.
beside the bag and investigate.
Alright.
Illusion bag.
While you make the investigation, anyone else who has come in with a griffin or who's come here can make a perception check.
Hey,
Is it day?
Damn.
It is
Hey.
daytime.
Disadvantage.
It's morning.
Oh no, nice.
Oh, there we go. I care not for your disadvantage.
Oh. Ooh.
Okay.
that's nasty.
So was it Gold who was investigating the bag?
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. On the first round of combat, only the halfling will act. Oh, actually, because no one's got higher than that stealth roll, right? No one got higher than 25.
Nope.
No. Yeah, how could you?
Oh, I could have almost got there.
All right. So we'll roll for initiative. but he's the only one who acts on the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also can't take your reaction until your first turn has passed. Even though you don't get a turn, you get reactions after your turn. So the fact that he rolled
funny.
low might still help you.
Why can't I drag Raskan? There we go.
So after the first round or after our first turn, we can.
After
do
your
reaction?
first turn, after your first turn, but take it. But after that, you can take a reaction if
Okay, okay.
if possible. Yeah, that's how it works. So you're looking through the bag, Wild Gold, and the rest of the party are either flying near. You can work that out on their turns. It doesn't matter at the moment. But you're looking through the bag, and you hear a rustling in the bush, and as you look over to it, Raskin, the same sort of thing happens to you and Aradel and Prophet, Jaraxxus. It goes through everyone. So you're all becoming alerted to a noise in the bush when suddenly a bolt, a crossbow bolt, comes flying out and strikes the Lion Man as he rifles through this guy's possessions. 26 because he has advantage.
Fuck, good.
Yeah. And that means that he gets all of his sneak attack at advantage. as
That's a
well.
lot of poison damage.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm down.
Dead. Yeah.
Are you dead?
Completely dead?
DC.
I mean, I've got 42 HP.
Then you're
And he's
not
No, but you
completely dead.
make a
no.
save against that poison, don't you?
Oh,
Yeah, the target
DC
must make it.
yeah.
Is it
It's a
Constitution?
DC, yeah, it is. It's a Constitution DC.
saving throw.
Yeah, for half damage on the poison
Need
only.
that portent.
I'm
fail.
gonna inspiration that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Okay.
Fuck.
And so Wild Gold goes down as this crossbow bolt strikes him in the neck. He gives a brief roar, rips it out of his neck, and looks at it, and then falls.
Oh, you've
As
got
the
a
poison
you've got a
takes
+4. I could have portented that. Because I got pretty poor portents.
I get it.
over. All
Three
right.
portents.
Wild Gold, make a death saving throw.
Alright. Fuck.
Your life is fading away as the blood reaches your heart and begins to induce a heart attack. Raskin, this has all happened so fast, and yet you have some idea of what's going on. The halfling has revealed himself, or at least, you can see the bush from which he's firing. You can't quite make him out, but you know exactly where he is. The crossbow bolt flew out at a fairly close range, about 30 or 35 feet away. Bam! Struck Wild Gold. He's fallen to the ground, and the sack remains full.
How
I just
far
realized
away
I
am
have-
I?
Oh, as close as you want to be, like somewhere between 40 and 60 feet. Sorry, between 20 and 60 feet. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll fly. I'll walk. Sorry, or I'll do whatever I need to do. Get and stand in front of where the crossbow bolt came from, and lay on hand. 5 points into Wild Gold.
No worries. You're now acting as a shield between him and the assassin.
And he is away.
Yeah.
5 points, you said?
5 hit points.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're prone, but life has returned to you as the chosen one chooses you. Aradel.
If I can see this little bugger, I'm gonna cast Hold Person on him.
All right. You get a glimpse, his eye or his cloak, perhaps. It's enough, and so he makes a Wisdom save, right?
Yeah. DC 12. Oof.
And he's canny enough to avoid your enchantment.
Apparently.
Prophet.
Can I mind spike him?
Okay.
And before you roll, I will portent it into a 5.
All right. He is Mind Spark.
Oh, 8 psychic damage.
angered, but it doesn't convince him that this fight is lost.
Yeah, but I could see him wherever, like, unless he leaves this realm of existence, I know where he is.
Oh, nice. Alright, Jaraxxus. You see a bush moving. There's a small huddled figure nearby. He's somewhere between 20 and 60 feet away from where you're positioned, and the bag of treasures lies uninvestigated, closed.
Seeing as he's pretty much just almost killed Wild Gold immediately,
Yeah,
he's
one shot.
gonna take out his piece of clay he got from Waterdeep, mold it into a hand, and cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Beautiful.
Is it DC 10? Is it?
8 plus your spell stuff.
My spell save DC is 13. I don't know why it says my DC is 10. I'll have a look in the.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's probably because did you have to add that manually?
Maybe.
Is
You
your
have to
is your spellcasting ability put in correctly?
Yeah, you have to put in the spellcasting ability in the spell.
Yeah, that's what you haven't done. Yeah, I've chosen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and
Okay.
which means he fails.
He'll take
Nice.
2d6.
He's grappled?
Yeah, restrained, not grappled.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he gets the restrained condition for the spell's duration.
And it's a concentration spell, I suppose.
I believe so. Yes, it is.
Awesome. All right, he's
And
not
then-
going anywhere, and if he is, then
Sorry, you go.
I was just saying he's not going anywhere, and if he did, then we'd go.
Okay.
We judge.
I'd hop off my. I was just gonna say I'll hop off my mount and kind of walk towards him, just so we know where he is.
Beautiful. All right, Roz, you're as close as you want to be.
Yeah. Would I still be on my griffin, or?
If you like, yeah. This
I would
all
prefer
happened
to be
pretty
off my
fast.
griffin, but I
Yeah, no,
I'm
that's
not sure
fine
that I
too.
got off quick enough.
Yeah, no, you can have gotten off. That's fine. Yeah, like these guys were, rifling through bags and stuff. So yeah, you leap off.
Cool. And I can definitely see him there, being grappled and shit.
Yeah, like you know more or less where he is. He's pretty much hidden behind all these bushes, but they are, it's like hiding behind a fern. There's not a lot of protection.
Alright, I see. Well, Ron will
Yeah.
just run over. And would I be able to flail him?
Yeah, definitely. He's very vulnerable, and you begin beating down upon him.
And seeing that he is restrained, I'll just action surge, and I'll
Yeah,
do
sure.
another attack.
Yeah, that first one wasn't very impressive. Oh, that might not do it, I think. No,
advantage?
Because he's restrained, it's advantage.
Oh, is that what happens on restrained? Advantage?
I'll just.
Well, they have disadvantage on attacks and stuff, and they can't move. It's like grappled.
Attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
Perfect.
That's from
so
the
it's funny
compendium?
at the end. Yeah,
There you go.
perfect, man. That's really good. All right, flail. Grappled and restrained, I get lost on. Perfect.
Big 9 points, baby.
Excellent. You start beating him down, but it's not to put him out of the fight, and he still figures that he can get away from this. But you're his prime target now, Roz, and he hurls his crossbow to one side, just dropping it completely, so that he can draw his weapons, his short swords, and with precision and skill and practice, he drives both, one into each side of your flank for a 16 and an 18.
My shield deflects both of them, baby.
Ah, bullshit.
19.
Wow, how much armor do you?
I got 19.
Until he
I'm a
breaks out
protector,
of.
baby. Get used to it.
Oh,
Sorry, until he breaks-
disadvantage.
Yeah, he'll have a disadvantage. Just
So it's a
to-
12 and an
12 and
18. Even worse. Alright, at this point he tries to run. So you provoke an attack. Provoke an
His
attack
his,
of
his movement is 0.
His
He's
movement
restrained.
can't go anywhere. He surrenders. He's had enough. Don't kill me! Don't kill me! I'm your friend.
And even if he ran, he couldn't hide.
Ah!
Jeez.
I'm the last survivor of my party.
Why'd you assault us?
Oh, you're stealing my treasures. I thought you were working for the giants.
Insight.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
make an insight check.
Can I insight that he's the last party member?
Yeah.
Whoop. With
What is
guidance.
his roll?
Raskan rolled 14, Wild rolled 19, Prophet rolled
You're all
6, and I
you're all
rolled-
pretty interested in this, like.
and I rolled 17.
That's intent. All
Well, I
right.
want to kill him if I can, so
Yeah, good
I
call.
really hope that he's lying.
He's not actually. He's not. He
He what? He
is
said.
Or, you
The
cut out,
last
sorry,
of-
I'll
sorry, I was moving my laptop. He
Oh.
seems to be genuinely what he says he is. That is the last survivor of a failed adventuring party. He goes on to explain that he was in an underground city not so long ago, and he stumbled through some archway and ended up in the forest. Stepped through like some kind of stone archway that was in the forest, maybe 3 miles back. He has all these treasures though, and he's willing to for a very reasonable price.
I
You
think
shot
we should
me
get
in
one
the
for
fucking
free
neck.
for shooting.
I'm taking
our
some of
friend.
this right now.
Can I have a
Probably
look at the
take
treasure to
this,
see
yeah.
if there's anything magical?
Sure. So you have detect magic, or you're just going to use an arcana check?
Just a Arcana check.
Yeah, make a single arcana check in spite of all the gear that's here.
20.
All right. Yeah, that's a good roll, and it tells you things that are both good and bad. There is a plethora of magical items in here. There is wands, and there's a scimitar. There's gauntlets and magical pearls. This is a hoard, a hoard suitable for a young dragon or something. But there's a catch. These are Netherese items. The Netherese, their name gets mentioned from time to time. The Netherese were the great human civilization of magic that Asgore was part of their empire, that city in Anarok. And
The
their
one that
empire was
fell.
based around Anarok. That's right. They had the flying cities that fell. Karsus, whose name's already been mentioned, is the only being to ever become a god with a single spell. He invented this crazy spell which made him the god of magic, and it worked, but it killed him and doomed his civilization in an instant because it sapped all magic from the world for like 2 minutes, and everything that was magic just failed utterly, including the civilization of Nether never recovered. Anyway,
Wait, didn't Mistra also die?
she did. It killed
Mhm.
Mistra. It sucked all the life from her, and it took her about 2 minutes to reincarnate.
And Denia had to ride himself into the weave to stabilize it.
it's a
Yeah,
big
there's
event.
there's like a new Mistra, isn't there? Like the old one died, and they selected a new one.
That's right, and another one has died since then. I think even 2 might have died, in fact.
Ah, Mistra, the
um,
worst.
Yeah, she dies pretty often.
Prone
But
to
yeah,
death.
prone to death. Though it was a significant event at the time. It was the first time it had occurred in countless years, whereas it occurs fairly regularly now, every 100 years or so. Back then, it was an abnormality. And so anyway, the problem with this is that things that the elves called mythals, and mythals are like magical spheres. Imagine a kind of invisible globe or hemisphere around your city that gives you eternal power. You can, let's say you jump off a building in a mythal city, you would not hit the ground violently because the mythal would kick something like featherfall or fly in, or even teleport, and so you'd be able to get around your city with ease, drawing on the magic that's available. Now that's really good when you're there, but the Netherese tied their magical items to mythals because it was easier that way. It required less less input, less energy, less investment. And so all of these magical items are probably useless outside of a Netherese ruin. Inside a Netherese ruin, they would be groundbreaking, game-changing, but outside, they're ornaments.
Alright, okay. Well, that's at least they're not cursed. Well, that we know of, but not openly cursed at the moment. Yeah, well, they can. I won't stop them or just tell them to do anything. I'll just let the party go as they please for now.
1,000 gold, and you can have any of them.
I
I think
will.
Fuck
almost
you, you
killing
shot
our
me.
friend should equate to 1.
And
I
not
thought
to
you were a
mention the
thief.
fact
I was
that
just
they-
investigating. I'm a bounty hunter. And I'll show him the posters. See?
You look more like a thief to me, he mumbles to himself.
You look like a bitch. Shot me, bitch. I'm holding my
Yeah.
neck the entire time.
He doesn't argue with the giant lion that's roaring at him. He just...
I'll-
you can have one. One item.
Alright. I'll take something that looks like it'll fit me. I can't wear armor because I'm a barbarian, so...
There's a
Not a
wand, a
piece of armor.
scimitar, a pair of gauntlets, a pearl, and a hole. It's like a hole that you can fold up. Doesn't work.
You look into a bag, you find a hole.
Yeah, that's right. It's just like a circle of
Proper
velvet. It's just a circle of velvet that it would make a nice little mat. Like, you can put it on a
Like
coffee
that
table.
black as black thing, you can't see
Yeah.
it, like it looks like a hole.
That's right, and yeah,
Eventually black.
that's exactly right. Yeah.
I'll take the pearl, I guess.
All right. You have a pearl of power. The pearl of power will only function within a Netherese ruin.
I'll say to the I guess the thief that's not a thief. 1,000 gold for these things. It seems a bit pricey for something that won't even work.
Well, I guess not everyone knows that they don't work.
Yes, unfortunately for you, I do.
500 then.
For a novelty item. I might remind you, we have no intention of going to this area. And most people wouldn't go to the ruins anyway. Why would you charge that much for a paperweight?
I'm sure that someone will pay for it. I'm sure.
Does he
And
look beat
someone
up
is
at
not
all?
us.
Apart
Does he
from
look what?
us?
Does he
Beat
look
up
what,
at all
sorry?
apart from us?
Yeah, he looks like he's his desert robes have been dirtied and soiled by blood and dirty sand, and it looks like he's taken an arrow or a zap or two. He's in not terrible shape, but he's had a few scratches.
Did you just leave your party to die?
There were traps. Traps everywhere. Moving statues. I saw a half-orc get crushed with a single blow.
So you did leave them.
Yeah, someone had to live to tell the story.
I pick
Moving
up the wand in the bag.
Like
Uh,
in Ascol?
Yeah, that's right. We were in Ascor. We'd heard about the Sapphire Queen and her great treasure hoards. We thought we'd just lift a few things.
You do know you are south of Neverwinter.
We are. Oh, thank you so much. I'll be able to get rid of some of these things there.
How did you get here?
There was an archway, a tall stone archway. I ran through it, and the next thing I know, I was in a forest with an archway behind me. I didn't dare look back. I just kept running.
Should we look for this archway?
I think we should at least know the location. I'll pick up the wand from the bag as well.
Just take it from him?
Yeah,
He
I like this guy.
500 gold pieces. He tells you.
I'll just study the wand, just kind of
Just pocket it.
looking at it, and and pocket it. I just stare at him while he's still in my earth grasp hand.
I'm ruined.
While he's paying attention to Jaraxxus, can I try to sleight of hand the gauntlets?
Yeah,
Fuck's sake.
sure. Make a sleight of hand check.
Even I fucking noticed that.
Oh,
You know,
you're robbing me.
This isn't very seemly of us.
I'll put it back in the bag, and then just throw the bag at him. Not directly at him,
thief
to
or a
like hurt
bounty
him,
hunter?
but to throw it to him.
He quickly scrambles it up.
We've been hearing an awful lot about this Sapphire Queen lately.
Well, if we stay out of Asgore, we should not run into her.
Probably not. If she's got these archways all around.
you never know where she might pop up.
Surely that can't be the only one.
How much more stuff would be in his pack?
Oh, that's pretty much all of his magical gear, but he's
Like
still
four
got
things,
the yeah, that's right. Yeah, but he's still got like all the adventure expect a professional assassin to have. He's got some poisons. He's got more daggers than you can count. Up 2 quivers for his crossbow bolts. The guy's decked out. He's professional, and the shot that he delivered to Wild Gold kind of proves that.
Hmm. Let's leave him to it. He's lost his party.
What if we give him a lift back? He lost them. He abandoned them. Didn't lose them.
He also shot
Well-
me. Fuck him. We're not giving him a lift.
I'm not opposed to giving him a lift, but I don't think he should be.
I think he's quite
Hailed
capable
as a
on his
hero.
own.
I mean, we just like fucked him up, but
Hardly.
I restrained him, nothing more. Could have done much worse.
Who knows what would have
Anyways,
Who knows what else might have happened with that spell?
let's
Oh shit.
take what we got and leave him to his own devices.
Say, who the hell are you anyway? What sort of group gets around with an elephant man, a lion man, and a baby dragon? What the hell are you people?
What do we call ourselves?
We have
Wild and
nothing to
friends.
call ourselves. We're calling ourselves Wild and Friends.
Where the wild things are.
Putty gold.
Sand. No.
no, there was something we called ourselves.
Yeah, we did
Was
call
that
it
North-
something, I just don't remember what
Northern
it was.
Expedition.
Oh, that's right.
And something or other.
Yeah, it's
You're
Oh,
corporate?
yeah.
You're a corporation?
We're a Northern Expedition.
We're going north to prevent the giant invasion.
Sounds important.
Nerd's the giant killer.
it was Northern Expeditionary and Research Division, I believe it was.
There we
Nerd.
go.
We are
yeah.
nerd. That was
Nerd,
what
that's
Sash
it.
made up.
Well, don't
We're
let
gonna
me get
use
in the
that.
way. Nerds?
Wild
Would
is
you
gonna
like to
get
come
back
and
on.
kill?